A good question from Peter says, if I want to sell one of my firearms to another private party and my state doesn't require me to go through an FFL, so this is assuming that private sale is legal, what are the records do you need to keep in a private sale? And there are some best practices when engaging in private sale. The ATF actually has a pretty useful guidebook online. It says best practices for private sales. I would check out that resource. But essentially what I see as being a best practice is maybe getting a copy of a person's driver's license, or at least inspecting it to make sure, hey, we were residents of the same state. Another good practice is maybe looking at their handgun or license issued by that state, saying, hey, this person can carry or wear firearms. So, I mean, that's another good indicator, hey, this isn't a prohibited person. And then documenting the sale with a bill of sale. If it's your best friend you've known your whole life, do you need to engage in a formal bill of sale? I'd say the risk there is less, but if it's a complete stranger, you want to have that documentation. And the key components on that are the names, kind of a disclaimer that we're both allowed to purchase and possess firearms and ammunition, and then the particulars of the firearm, the make, model, serial number, and the date. And so when you have that transaction, because this is how it comes up in a practical context, if you sell a gun, let's say in a private sale, and it shows up, and this has happened to a client before, that gun shows up next to a politician in Mexico who's now dead, and the ATF goes and investigates and says, hey, they do a firearms trace and trace it back to the original purchaser. Maybe you're the person who bought that gun. You want to have something in your hand that says, hey, this is when the chain of custody broke. This firearm left my possession on this date. Here's the bill of sale to prove that. And that way, maybe you're not a criminal suspect anymore.
Yeah, because that would be a real nightmare.
Yeah.
If you're just one day minding your own business and all of a sudden the police show up at your door and say, sir, back in 2005, did you happen to purchase this Glock Model 27 from such and such pawn shop or gun store? And they go, why, yes, I did. And their next question is going to be, well, where were you last Friday at 10 o'clock whenever the liquor store was knocked off?
Right,
because
exactly.
we found your gun there.
And the same kind of goes for, let's say your firearm is lost or stolen. That's why you would document the loss or theft with the police, because that breaks that chain of custody should it show up in a crime scene.